welcome back to Flock Talk. Today we are going to be talking just a little bit about parrot nutrition. I am not a veterinarian and do not have a degree in parrot nutrition, so I'm not going to be going into all the tiny little details of exactly what nutrients they need. This video is more of a broad spectrum answer to what sort of things you should consider adding into your parrot's diet and what things to look out for. Now, when you first go ahead and get your bird, you're probably going to pop on over to a pet store and see a wide variety of seeds to choose from, and odds are the employee is going to tell you that all your bird needs to survive is a nice balanced mixture of seeds. This is not inherently true, but it is a solid place to start. So in the bottom of your bird's food pyramid, which makes up the largest portion of their diet, you're either going to want a hearty seed mix or a balanced, well-made pellet. What you choose is up to you. There is a lot of debate about pellets and seeds because there isn't a lot of solid information on which exactly is 100% the best for them. So what you decide is up to you, but do be cautious and aware of whatever decision you make. When it comes to seeds, you want to find a good hearty seed mix. Generally speaking, if you have a smaller bird, you're going to want a low-fat seed mix. Seed mixes that are lacking in sunflower seeds and peanuts are usually pretty good options. For larger birds, you tend to need a little bit more fat in the diet. You still don't want mixes that are really heavy on the peanuts, but they will usually have a lot more sunflower seeds and a little bit more of those healthy fats to sustain their large bodies. When looking for a healthy seed mix in general, you want at least 4 to 5 different types of seeds, and you want them to be good, hearty, solid seeds. You're going to want to be looking for things like barley and rye, some spelt, maybe some flax. You're not going to be looking for things like dried pieces of corn and other fillers that are just tossed into the mix. You generally want the seeds to be pretty low in fat while being extremely nutrient dense. You can absolutely make your own seed mixes from the bulk department in grocery stores. You do not have to buy one from a pet store that is marketed towards your specific species. 9 times out of 10, the mixes that are marketed towards budgies are the exact same mixes that are marketed towards cockatiels. Difference is the cockatiel one usually has fattier seeds thrown in it, which they shouldn't be eating anyways. Sometimes the mixes that are marketed towards budgies will also feature significantly smaller seeds because they think that that's the only type of seed a budgie can eat. Budgies can absolutely handle larger seeds, and cockatiels can absolutely eat smaller seeds. Size of the bird doesn't dictate what size seed they can handle eating. The main thing you're looking for is usually the fat quantity and how much they're going to be consuming in that seed mix. If you choose to go the other route and head towards pellets, there are a lot of options, and some will not be the greatest to make. If you see something that is artificially dyed, bright and colorful in all sorts of funky shapes, you want to stay away from it, at least to start. These colors are artificial, they'll dye your bird's poop all sorts of fun rainbow colors, and it can create a very picky bird. Birds can see every color that we do as well as the UV spectrum as well, so they absolutely can see all the colors that are different in that pellet mix, and they can pick one color and decide they will not eat the rest because they don't like the color that they are. So when you're first converting a bird onto pellets, I would advise you to stay away from those vibrantly colored things because your bird is more likely to pick and choose and be very, very picky. If you have a pellet mix that's one standard color, they will eat the entire bag. You won't run into that problem. That being said, if you have been trying to convert your bird onto pellets and nothing else is working, trying those colored things or trying to dye them yourself can absolutely be great ways to help encourage them to try and eat them. I just wouldn't use them as a permanent solution or start there right off the hop. Looking on the back of a pellet bag, you're going to want to see the first few ingredients being solid, hearty grains. You're not wanting to see added sugars, you're not wanting to see added colors, and you're not wanting to see fillers like corn or soy. Largely what you're going to be looking for are those good hearty grains like rye, quinoa, millet, things like that. Following those ingredients can be a little bit messy when it comes to the quality of the pellet. If you're on a little bit of the lower end of the spectrum, you'll usually get those grains, you'll get some fillers, you'll probably get sugar, and then it'll jump right into vitamins and minerals. If you're on the higher end of the spectrum, you'll usually find that the next few ingredients are solid, hearty vegetables, and then the very bottom of the list will be those added minerals just to balance out their nutrition. Whether you choose seeds or pellets is totally up to you. It is still heavily debated in the parrot keeping world what is the best choice for them. So it is entirely up to you and what you feel is best for your particular bird, the diet that they're having in your household, and the lifestyle that they're living. So following that up on our food pyramid, you will have the next segment there, which is going to be your healthy fruits and vegetables. Now, for most parrots, this segment is more likely to be 75 to 80% Vegetables. They actually don't eat all that many fruits, and giving them way too many can be way too sugary and cause a lot of watery poops. Nobody wants that, the bird doesn't want that, you don't want that. You want to give them a large variety of different colored vegetables on a daily basis. Fruits and vegetables are not a treat for a parrot, they are a staple in their diet. This means they should be having a wide range of rainbow colors from the vegetable side of your produce section to fill their dish every day. For the vegetables, to make sure you're getting a good wide range of nutrients, you will usually want around 2 to 3 different types of greens. So you might want to use broccoli, some spinach, or maybe some kale. For your yellow and orange vegetables, so things like carrots or squashes, maybe some pumpkin, you will want around 1 to 2 different types. And then your reds and purples, so things like your beets and your bell peppers, you will again only want around 1 to 2 different types on a daily basis. If you can cover that, you're usually pretty good at making sure they're getting a good variety of nutrients. Now, right above the vegetables there on our little food pyramid is going to be your fresh sprouts. Now, this is a very important part of their diet, and it kind of melds in with the fruits and vegetables and the seeds. But what sprouts basically are is you take a healthy, fresh grain and you soak it in water for a little bit and it will start to sprout. During this process, the seed becomes extremely nutrient dense as it needs to gather all of that nutrition to be able to grow into a plant. This is extremely healthy for birds and is something they naturally feed a lot on. When a bird is bouncing around the trees and scavenging along the forest floor, they're not usually eating a raw, dried out seed. Most of the time those seeds are half sprouted or they're already starting to grow into a plant on the ground. The sprout segment of their diet does make up a significant portion, and it could be debated that it should actually go down on the bottom mixed in with the seeds or pellets as well. This is a very vital, important part of their nutrition, and I do highly encourage you all to look into where you can find sprouts or try and grow them yourself. Sprouts are also a really good option for birds that are picky because it is kind of that in-between stage of where a seed starts to turn into a plant or a vegetable. Birds who are having difficulty learning to eat their vegetables usually take to sprouts pretty well, as it's that nice medium ground. Moving up to sort of the very tippy top of the food pyramid there, you will usually then have your treats. So these will be your fattier seeds or even some healthy table foods from your own plate. This little part of the pyramid is pretty much reserved for training treats or things used for hiding and foraging all around the room. This is a very tiny, tiny microscopic part of the diet, usually only composes around 5 to 10% of it, and these are just the things that aren't necessarily the healthiest thing for them, but can still play a vital role in their enrichment. Those are pretty much the basics of a parrot's food pyramid, whether it be a budgie, a cockatiel, a lovebird, up to your great big guys like your macaws and your African greys. They all have a pretty basic, similarly looking pyramid. There are a lot of species differences, so while this pyramid is a good general guide for parrots as a broad spectrum statement, there are a lot of differences when it comes down to your grass foraging species, to your seed foraging species, and things like that. You will find that there are a lot of fine-tuned differences to help maximize the health of the exact parrot that you have brought home. The best way to figure that out is either to go do some independent research and look up their wild type habits and things like that, or to discuss with your vet and figure out the best dietary plan for them. But as far as the general dietary needs of a parrot goes, this food pyramid will do the job for today. So that will do it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.